Welcome back. After months of anticipatory speculation and punditry, conservative activist and provocateur Michael Quinn Sullivan released the secret recording of his now infamous meeting with Texas House Speaker Dennis Bonnen. Bottom line, Bonnen's words are as ugly and mean-spirited as previously reported, with the speaker labeling one House member a closeted gay man and describing another female rep as vile, all while offering Sullivan press passes for his riders in exchange for orchestrated attacks on 10 fellow Republicans. The speaker wants beaten.
If we can make this work, I'll put your guys on the floor next session. And here's what I will do. I'll do what Patrick did. I'll take Braddock off. John Rosenthal makes my skin crawl. It's a piece of Gavin Massengale said it well. I'm begging this is all confidential. After we meet with him the first time, he leaves. I said, what do you think of him? And he goes, well, his wife's going to be really when she learns it's gay. You know, and I said, yeah. But my point is, we've got Michelle Beckley, who's vile.
It may not be prosecuted, but a good many folks call the exchange or the offer of the press passes an attempted bribe within the walls of the state capitol. Meantime, Republicans have caucused this weekend in Austin and condemned Bonnen's words and actions, but stopped short of telegraphing a change in leadership. Bob Price, you've been covering this issue. What's your take?
Well, first off, if the Democrats in Washington want to see what quid pro quo looks like, they need to listen to this tape, because that's exactly what this is. The speaker came out and said, I need you to do this for me, and I need you to not hit me in the upcoming election. And if you do that, here's what I'll do for you. I will take an official action as Speaker of the House and make sure you get press credentials, and I'll take Scott Braddock off the floor with the quorum report. So there's an absolute quid pro quo. This goes back to the district attorney's office now in Brazoria County, but also the Travis County DA could look at conspiracy.
Bonnen drew a mountain of fire this week for stating clearly in the recording his intention to erode the authority of local Texas governments.
I didn't any mayor, county judge was enough to come meet with me. I told them with great clarity, my goal is for this to be the worst session in the history of the legislature for cities and counties.
Ruthless, self-serving, and power-hungry are three terms I've heard used to describe Bonnen's statement. In response, Mayor Sylvester Turner this week called the revelation deeply disappointing. Charles Blaine, you worked with Michael Quinn Sullivan. What's your take on this?
Yeah, so from day one, I've been saying that Michael had something there. We didn't know what the tape was, but now we do, and it proves to be true. But I think what's interesting is that there's a lot of talk about how this impacts 2020. And I think two things are really important. The fact that the Republican caucus only comes out with a statement saying that we're sorry for this offensive language, but disregards all of the alleged corruption that's involved in it. That's a problem that's going to be in 2020. I think the other problem in 2020 is what he just said. This constant attack that we hear from Republican elected officials on the state level at our cities is a problem. I mean, 88% of Texans live in cities or metropolitan areas. We've got to stop looking at this as an us versus them issue and look at how they can apply their solutions to these urban problems and fix them, and just stop deriding cities. So I think that's going to be a major issue, as we've seen this past week with a lot of local elected officials just harping on that and reiterating that point.
Michelle Maples is a conservative voter and someone who listened to some of these comments. Do you think that Dennis Bonnen needs to be replaced as House Speaker?
Oh, yes. Needs to be replaced is an understatement. We don't need to have somebody like this representing the conservative cause whatsoever. And I'm an equal opportunist when it comes to honesty, integrity, and transparency. I don't care what party you come from. If you cannot embody those three characteristics, then I don't want you. I don't want you as a Democrat, and I don't want you as a Republican. And I'm pretty disappointed in the Republican caucus that they haven't ousted him already, or at least come out with a statement stating that, hey, we're going to look into this and we're going to do what's right.
Tony, I imagine that Democrats right now are I guess, what's the right word? Chomping at the bit. You know, loving this. They're 8 or 9 seats away from taking control of the House. What's your take?
Well, they shouldn't run him off. Republicans should give him another chance. Give him another chance, especially because a House divided is vulnerable. And really, I've been saying some things that you could hear on the Bonnen, Best of Bonnen Hits tape, because I said that Donald Trump is making elections for Texas Republicans difficult, just as Bonnen has said as well. He's forcing Texas Republicans into a corner to decide if they're extreme right or if they're middle of the road. Likewise, I've said time and time again that it sure looks like Republican legislators are trying to choke cities, as they've done in other states as well. And he's proven that by saying what he said, which also then, during election time, we got to bring up. All of a sudden, you've got Texas Education Agency taking over our city schools. All of a sudden, you have the legislator choking the counties on how they can raise taxes. This is exactly what we've been talking about, and this is a deep state. So I think that right now, the GOP is in trouble from top to bottom. There's one way to fix this, and this is during the election season, and I can't wait till there's the day of reckoning and we self-correct.
Okay, Carmen Rowe, hypothetical. You're the DA of Brazoria County, and based upon what you know, could you get an indictment here? Would you prosecute?
Look, you can indict anybody and anything, anytime if you want to. Is that going to happen here? No, absolutely not. I don't think there's going to be criminal charges, and I don't think there's going to be any fallout. I mean, this is politics as usual. Nothing to see here, move along. And that's what the Republican Party's saying. That's what everybody's saying. This isn't criminal. It's really bad. Take a pass, smack on the hand, don't do that again, and stop recording me, and let's move along. And that's what I think we're seeing here.
Okay, Wayno.
Okay, so both of us have covered the legislature over the years, so we know that lawmakers across the state are sick and tired of big cities bringing every little whiny contest to them in Austin. That's part of the reason that Bonnen probably said that, right? We need to solve a lot more of our stuff here and not in Austin. Counties have to go to the state for anything because they're not really allowed to do anything, thank God, because we have a great county judge now. But look, this deep state stuff, look, the problem in corruption in this state is that grand juries should be given all these cases directly. Prosecutors, elected partisan prosecutors, should not be the ones that are deciding corruption cases. They should be sent to a grand jury, let regular folks look at it. And look, I said, I want to be on record. I called Bonnen a jerk weeks ago. He's a jerk, but a lot of the stuff he says, he's also stupid, because he said it to a guy that he was trying to trade press credentials for. I mean, tip. Those people are not the people you should, talk dirty to, okay?
Okay. Bob, close us out on this. We've got about 30 seconds.
Let's be accurate about what the Republican caucus said coming out of there. They condemned these words in the strongest possible measures, but they also pointed out that constitutionally you cannot remove the Speaker of the House unless the House is in session. So the governor would have to call a special session in order for him to be removed. Now, he could resign, and if he gets indicted, then maybe he would. I don't know. But the key is the next legislative session is when we're going to do redistricting, and I don't think anybody believes that the House members are going to keep Dennis Bonnen as Speaker and put him in charge of redistricting.
That's right. Okay.